Hello, my name is Ajiboye Isaac, and today we want to discuss business arithmetic, an aspect of mathematics, and we'll emphasize on simple and compound interest. Simple and compound interest. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, learners should be able to find simple interest on a principal amount, compound interest on a principal amount, solve problem of simple and compound interest. Key vocabulary words. Percentage. Percentage means the proportion of quantity as a fraction of 100. Thus, it is interpreted as the ratio of quantities multiplied by 100. For example, 7% denoted as 7 with a symbol of percent will be equivalent to 7 over 100. So, to remove that percentage symbol and convert it to a fraction, it will be 7 over 100. So anytime you have a percentage in any question, you can therefore convert to fraction. For example, 25% will be equal to 25 over 100. So that is very important. The next key vocabulary word is interest. Interest is the amount incurred and paid on an investment or loan. It's given as a percentage of the investment or loan. Okay, for instance, if you ask a friend to lend you money, the friend might want to put interest rate on it. So when you want to pay back the money, you pay the money with a certain amount on top or added to the original amount that was borrowed. It is important that you know that interest is also given as a percentage. It is also given as a percentage of the original amount. Principal. Principal is the original or starting amount invested or loaned. So the original amount the friend gave to you is also referred to as a principal. It's also referred to as a principal. So what it means is we have two types of amounts: the starting amount or the original amount, and then there's also another amount which is expected to be paid back with interest. So that is the interest plus the original amount will give you another type of amount, which is the total amount after the interval. Okay, so we take note of that. Content. Simple interest. Simple interest is the interest paid on a fixed principal, which is paid at definite intervals of time, like monthly, half yearly, yearly, and so on. Does the principal and interest remain constant for equal intervals of time? So to determine the simple interest on an investment, interest I is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. Okay, and if you convert the rate to fraction, then it will have P times R times T over 100, where P is the principal, R is interest rate, and T is the time duration. Therefore, the amount after an interval A is equal to the principal plus the simple interest. So that is when you have a case of simple interest. So to find the amounts after a given interval, after a given period of simple interest, you add the interest to the principal. Compound interest, on the other hand, is the interest paid on a constantly changing principal. The interest and principal change continuously as interval of time changes. So, for a compound interest, you will notice from the definition that the principal will be changing. Unlike the simple interest where the principal will be constant. For the compound interest, the principal will change at every interval. Okay? So the amount in a compound interest, that is the amount after the investment, after the given period of time, A is equal to P open bracket 1 plus rate close bracket raised to the power of n, where P is the principal, R is the rate, and n is the time duration. Therefore, to get the compound interest C dot I will be equals to the amount minus the principal. The amount minus the principal. So we'll look at examples. Solve the examples. Find the simple interest on £340, 340.625 in 3 years at 4.5% per annum. 4.5% per annum. Okay, we have been given the principal, which is the amount the person the amount the person invested or deposited, and that is giving us £340.625. The rate is 4.5%, which when converted will give us 9/200. 9/200 is the rate, and the time duration is 3 years. Don't forget, if you look at the question, the rate is given per annum. So it is acceptable for you to put that 3 years. If it were to be every 6 months or every month, it is not going to be 3 years. You would then need to convert that 3 years to the interval. Okay, we'll look at other examples in that area. So our simple interest therefore will be equals to P times R times time. Okay, so I would therefore be equals to 340.625 times 9/200, which is the rate, times 3, which is the time. And then when we evaluate, we get 45.98 pounds. That will be the interest that will be incurred on that investment at 4.5% rates for 3 years. Example 2. A man invests a sum of money at 4% per annum, a simple interest. After 3 years, the principal amounts to 7,000 naira, 7,000 pounds. Find the sum invested. Okay, a man invests a sum of money at 4% per annum, simple interest. After 3 years, the principal amounts to 7,000 pounds. Find the sum invested. So you can see from this question, the principal is not given, but the rate is given as 4%. The time is given at 3 years. And we're told that after the simple interest has been added to the original invested amount, the amount now incurred, or the amount after the interval, is 7,000. So what if we substitute all of that in the formula? A equals to P plus I. That is, the amount is principal plus the simple interest. And the simple interest is PRT over 100. So if you factorize P, okay, we have P open bracket 1 plus RT over 100. And if we now substitute the given parameters, A for 7,000, R for 4, and T for time, then would have 7,000 equals to P open bracket 1 plus 4 times 3 over 100. And therefore, 7,000 will be equals to 1.12 P. If we divide both sides by 1.12, would have P to be equals to 7,000 over 1.12. And on division, that will give us 6,250 pounds. Find the compound interest on 200 pounds in 3 years at 4% per annum. Okay, we are asked to find the compound interest. Here we have been given the principal to be 200 pounds, the rate to be 4%, and the time to be 3 years. So we'll first of all find the amount, and from the amount we'll get the compound interest. So the amount is given as A equals to P open bracket 1 plus R close bracket raised to the power of n. All right, if you substitute the given values, P for 200 or 200 for P, and 4 over 100 for rate, and then n for time. So we have 200 open bracket 1 plus 4 over 100 close bracket raised to the power of 3, and that will give us 200 open bracket 1.04 raised to the power of 3. Therefore, the amount will be equals to 224.97 pounds. So to get the compound interest, we will remove the original principal, the original amount, from this amount that has accumulated after the given interval. So that would have the compound interest to be A minus P, and that is 224.97 minus 200. And therefore, our compound interest will be 24 3.97 pounds. So I want you to look at this classwork, make attempt of this classwork, and forward the attempt to me within this period of the lesson. In the next 5-10 minutes, you should be done with the classwork. The assignment, on the other hand, will be due for submission first thing tomorrow morning. There will be need for me to assess your attempt and then mark and forward the attempt to you. I would encourage you that you also practice more questions to further um, display your understanding of the lesson. Not only that, it is important you practice. It is important you practice. You are also permitted to ask questions, any area that is not clear. And each time you take a step in your classwork or assignment, you are permitted or you are allowed to ask questions or to seek for guidance through my WhatsApp number. Assignment should be forwarded to my WhatsApp number. Your attempt of the assignment should be snapped and forwarded to my assignment to my WhatsApp number. Thank you for your audience.